Thanks for joining us tonight on TCM. I'm Ben Mankiewicz. We're in the middle of a lineup of films with our star of the month, Elizabeth Taylor. Up next, the third and final movie, Teaming Taylor, with director George Stevens. It's Stevens' last film as director. From 1970, a TCM premiere, The Only Game in Town. Taylor plays a past-her-prime Las Vegas showgirl with Warren Beatty as a cocktail pianist with whom she's involved. Whether their romance grows more serious depends on whether Taylor's longtime lover will divorce his wife and whether Beatty can overcome a gambling problem, which I can tell you from the experience of a friend, Ken Stankiewicz, is not easy. Taylor's two previous films with George Stevens are widely regarded as classics: Place in the Sun from 1951, Giant from 1956. Stevens began his Hollywood career making comedies, including Laurel and Hardy shorts. He moved on to films like Swing Time with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, and The More the Merrier with Gene Arthur and Joel McCrea. During World War II, though, Stevens made documentaries for the Army Signal Corps. He shot the D-Day landing and the liberation of the Dachau concentration camp. Those experiences, as you might imagine, profoundly changed him, and after the war, Stevens made far more serious pictures with far more serious themes. I Remember Mama, A Place in the Sun, Shane, Giant, and The Diary of Anne Frank. He also developed a reputation for being too slow, a slave to perfectionism. Stevens saw The Only Game in Town as his chance to return to a brisker, more streamlined pace of filmmaking. At Taylor's insistence, Las Vegas was recreated in Paris because Richard Burton, Taylor's husband at the time, was shooting a movie there. Warren Beatty jumped at the chance to work with George Stevens, passing up Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid to do it. Beatty, though, still has no regrets, saying you don't pass up a chance to work with George Stevens. From 1970, also with Hank Henry and Charles Braswell, this is the TCM premiere of The Only Game in Town. The Only Game in Town was director George Stevens' final film. He died 5 years after its release. Elizabeth Taylor made far fewer films during the 1970s, but she did not stop making headlines, especially after her second divorce from Richard Burton in 1976, which was followed by her marriage to U.S. Senator John Warner the same year. She also began working in the theater, including a production of Private Lives with Richard Burton in the 1980s. She embraced charity work ferociously, making AIDS research a priority when few others in Hollywood would. She also introduced her own perfume, the first celebrity to do so. And last but certainly not least, she provided the voice of Maggie on an episode of The Simpsons. Up next, Elizabeth Taylor stars in this week's visit to the TCM Underground, psychological drama from director Joseph Losey that has become a cult classic.